What's going on, everybody? Serial Overdrive here, and today we're talking about the situation regarding Rust console community servers, because things are still iffy. I'm going to give you the status as far as G-Portal goes, the status as far as D11 goes, and where we're going from here. Now, if you're watching this video, it's December 5th or something like that, just hit subscribe and keep moving on, because I don't want to waste your time, and this information is hopefully going to be dated very quickly, because that means things are starting to work. So, here's where we stand. Rust console community servers launched yesterday, and things did not go well. So they launched, and no one could get a server at first, or if you got a server, you're paying $63 instead of $19. Yes, that's a very big difference. I don't want to do the math, but it's a lot. It's a lot, and some people actually did that, and they're upset because even though they paid $63, they still don't have servers that are working. After that, if you could get a server for $19 or $63, you found that the server hosting sites were out of servers or sold out. They were quickly coming back online. That's all thanks to cloud computing. Now, once you got online, once you bought your server, there's this little button to activate the server. For a lot of people, myself included, that button doesn't work. And it didn't work when I bought the server, and it still doesn't work now. That's honestly the biggest hang-up. Now, regarding that, I've looked into it, and it seems like there's two issues going on as far as G-Portal goes, and this is where I believe these issues exist. So if the issue is with the website, if the issue is with activating the server, that's a G-Portal issue. And right now, there's two issues. Server still in register status issue, and there's a can't find server in game issue with G-Portal. This is based on a status update that they just did. So those are the two major issues. And they say this doesn't mean there aren't other issues out there. So there's two major issues that they're working on. And one would be that the server is still in register status. So I assume this is like a server registers and you can't activate it. This is likely the issue that I'm facing. And the other issue would be you can't find the server in game. Now, with an issue like this, that could be G-Portal. I think that could also be a D11 like Rust console issue. In addition to this, Rust console has an issue where you can't search for servers. If you want to, though, you can. So basically what it is the UI isn't showing you the ability to search for servers, but that ability still exists. So if you do want to search for servers, which you do if you're trying to find your server, what you're going to want to do is hold Y on the Xbox or the triangle key on the PlayStation. That's going to open up the server search UI. So if you're looking for a way to find your server on the community servers menu, that's how you do it. And if you can't find your community server, there's some queues going on that are restarting a lot of the servers. So not every server is up right now. Now, there's also a ton of other issues going on, so I'm going to go over those just because a lot of people are really upset about them. So one of the issues would be you get into a server, you get kicked, and then you can no longer join that server. Just bing, bang, boom, you're out of there. You get one shot. If you die, if you get kicked, it's all over. That would really suck. And people are basically, they're having like 30 minutes of playtime. They're getting kicked from the server, and then they just can't get in, even though the server's full. Some servers have 30 people online, but there's a queue of like 100 people waiting to join. This doesn't make any sense because these are 100 pop servers. In addition to that, there's other servers where the lock feature is broken. So a key lock, typically, if you craft the key lock, you can open and close that key lock. Well, what's happening is people are crafting a key lock, they're putting it on their TC, they're putting it on a door, they're putting it on a box, and they can no longer access that box because the key lock does not belong to this person. So yeah, there's a key lock permissions issue. So if you're going to use a key lock, I'd recommend putting it on a box first and seeing if you can actually open things in that box. This is an intermediate issue, so it seems like it's happening for some people and it's not happening for others. There's also a lot of issues around just servers disappearing, servers crashing, and just a bad experience for anyone trying Rust console community servers. But you know what? If there weren't issues, it would not be a console Rust launch. Look, when they launched the game, we didn't have gunpowder. That's how bad it got. This is nowhere near that bad. So like I think they're coming along. And honestly, if I look at sort of the log of events, right? Like I went back and looked through it, it seems like both teams are responding as fast as they can. It's not optimal, and the fact that they had test servers already and they tried all this out, they should have been able to tell that there'd be some issues. And yeah, like maybe they couldn't predict how many people are going to be ordering servers, but they still should be able to get these servers online pretty quickly. The fact that they're having to start and restart and like shut down and do all these things with servers, that is a bit worrying, but hopefully they're going to be able to sort this out. The only question I have left is what's going to happen, in another wipe, right? Like, are we going to have this again in another wipe? Because one of the problem people are running into, and this is where I really feel for people, right? So like, I've got this channel, all you, thank you, I appreciate it so much that you watch these videos. Hopefully I'm not lowering your IQ by too much, but yeah, I do appreciate it, right? Like I can make a community server halfway through wipe, and hopefully I'd be able to get at least like 10 of you to join, 20 of you to join. But for some people, if they miss the wipe, right? Like if they pay $19 and they can't get a server up in a couple days, what that means is their server is going to be empty. And I really feel for those people, and that I think that's one of the things that does need to be called out, right? Like people say I'm too negative. I think this is something that I should be negative about, because like things just didn't go well. There was a test like there's staging, people ran tests, a lot of content creators created servers, a lot of community members jumped into the servers, everything seemed to be running fine, and then we get to launch day and everything goes bonkers. I don't know what was happening. If they were using, staging and test are always divergent of each other. Staging and main are always divergent of each other. That's just the nature of the beast when it comes to programming. But when issues like this keep reoccurring like this, it sort of means that you need to take a look at your staging, you need to look at your staging environment. That would be my advice to D11. There's something wrong with that. Like there's something going on with your staging development servers, whether it's just you're hosting it on different machinery, whether it's just like something is going on with those servers, because we're seeing issues that make it into production that are not popping up in staging. And if that happens routinely, then it's time to actually do some sort of retrospective and get some people figuring out what's going on there. That would be my advice from a professional standpoint, right? I'm a computer developer, so like I know a little bit about this. I'm not a game developer though, so I don't know a ton about this. Maybe there's something that I just don't know about, right? But that would be my advice. Like it seems like there's some issues there, but basically the main issue, the people I feel for, is people who bought servers, they were hoping to get in and launch, drum up some hype, and they haven't been able to do that. Because honestly, like your boys, and maybe a girl, I know there's like one girl that watches these videos, thank you, I appreciate it. But no, like what happens is, and it's not my mom, anyways, no, like what happens is, you've got everybody hyped for your server, but then launch day comes and goes and your server's just not up, and people want to get in for that first weekend of community server wipes. And if you're like me and your server's not up, what do? You can't, like people aren't going to hold out for you. They're not going to wait. They just move on to the next great server, and then you're sort of stuck. And unless you can really drum up support mid-wipe, it's going to be a tough one for you to get that server going. I think that the most fair thing to do would be for D11 and G Portal to let people whose servers are not currently running just get that month for free, or let them request a refund, right? Do something for people who haven't gotten their servers running, because what's going to happen right now is we're going to have a lot of people who, once their servers are active, are going to be stuck with dead servers, and they're not going to be able to recover because they're just halfway through wipe right now. Maybe if they started at the beginning of wipe, they would be able to recover. Maybe they'd be able to do something. Maybe these people do have great ideas, but they just can't implement them because there's just not enough people joining their server off the jump. So I feel like they need to do this, because what's going to happen, and this is what I'm worried about, honestly. I'm worried that there's a lot of great admin, moderator teams, server owners that are getting burned by this right now. And if something isn't done to sort of make them whole, make them feel like, hey, there are issues, but we're going to, like D11 and G Portal are working to resolve them. If something's not done in that respect, maybe they're just going to bail on the game. Maybe they're just not going to try this again, and then we're going to miss out on some really great content. And that's what I don't want. Like, I know the content creators, I know the people who can drum up the hype, who have the following. They're going to be fine. Like my server, it's not going to come out probably today. It's might not even come out tomorrow, but it's going to be fine, right? Like these videos are making enough money that I can support the servers, and all you all are like really cool. Like honestly, it's amazing to see how many people will like come back to these videos, comment, say thank you for making the news, thank you for giving us updates, everything like that. Thank you for keeping it short, which I'm not doing now, so I do apologize for that. But like so many people jump in, I really love that. But not everybody has a platform like this, and for those people, this can really sort of screw them over. So I think there needs to be something done to make them whole. I'm not asking for D11 to give me my money back. I wouldn't request it. I don't need it. I'm good. But for other people, like, $19, it's not a huge amount. I'm not saying they're going to go broke. I'm not saying they're going to be missing out on a ramen meal or anything like that. But what I'm saying is maybe they spend $19 hoping that they'd have a good time, and they're not going to have it. And maybe next time it comes around, they're going to say, hey, the $19 isn't worth it. And then we miss out on some really cool servers and really cool experiences. And I hope that D11 and G Portal, when all of this is fixed, figure out a way to make sure that doesn't happen. Anyways, I do appreciate the fact that they're working overtime. I do appreciate the fact that they're trying to fix things. I know issues do occur, and something like this, something this big, there were issues that were bound to occur, but a lot of the issues I'm seeing where like servers aren't coming up and they're saying it's stability issues, If I had to guess, I'd say one of them could be that they're using virtual machines and they put too many virtual machines per server. And what's happening is when a bunch of people are jumping in, when you get these servers that have 100 pop or these huge queues, you're getting too many people in all these different virtual machines and it's crashing the physical server. I'd say that could be one issue. And if that's the issue, what they've got to do is they've got to stop cheaping out on hardware. They've got to spend a little bit more to make sure these launches go well and then tune things as it goes. And maybe the other issue would be something, I think it's something around that, to be honest. I think it's something around resource allocation, being a little too cheap with it to get these server costs down. That would be my guess. And yeah, like honestly, long term it makes sense, but I think short term it doesn't make sense because you're giving people a really bad experience, and then maybe they don't come back to it. And what I think this, honestly, I think community servers, this is the make or break moment for Rust. The console edition, Rust on the PC is fine, but for the console edition Rust, right? Like, if this fails, this is what a lot of people have been hoping for. If people are jumping in a couple days later and things aren't working, you might lose those people forever. There might be nothing we can do to get those people back, and I'd hate to see that happen. So I'm hoping that they can pull this one out of the bag and, turn a flaming bag of poop into a flaming blunt. I don't know how you do it, but that would be some Jesus Christ powers. Anyways, until next time, peace.